Money is not just numbers in your account, it is energy, vibration, and divine flow. Hidden beneath the surface of everyday life are spiritual laws that quietly govern your wealth. When you understand them, you unlock doors to prosperity that no one can shut. Today, I will reveal 7 hidden spiritual laws that hold the power to transform your relationship with money forever. The law of mental equivalent teaches that every condition in your life is the exact reflection of your inner pattern of thought and belief. The outer world is nothing but the mirror of the inner world. If the image within is one of abundance, joy, and success, the outer will form to match it with unfailing precision. If the image is one of lack, struggle, and fear, the outer will also obediently take that shape. The law works without pause, whether or not you are aware of it, for it is an unchanging principle in the spiritual order of things. When one understands this law, there is no longer a mystery as to why life takes certain forms. The subconscious mind holds the mental picture, and the universe produces its equivalent intangible experience. Just as a seed produces only after its own kind, your thoughts bear fruit according to their nature. You cannot plant thorns in your consciousness and expect roses to bloom in your affairs. Your mental images are living blueprints, and the law is the master builder that shapes your reality exactly as you have designed it. Many imagine that circumstances are separate from thought, that they are at the mercy of chance or luck. Yet the truth is that every event is linked to an unseen cause within the mind. The wealth you possess, the opportunities that arrive, the people you meet, all spring from the mental equivalent you carry. If you wish to change your results, you must first change the picture. You must dare to see yourself as you desire to be, even before a single outward sign appears. For the invisible comes before the visible, and the formless precedes the formed. The law is impartial. It does not choose between good or ill, it simply reproduces what it is given. If your mind is filled with fear of poverty, the law will give you the poverty you fear. If your mind is saturated with visions of success, the law will draw to you every means necessary to fulfill that vision. You cannot hide your dominant thought from it, for it reads the vibrations of your heart more truly than the words you speak. To work with the law of mental equivalent, you must become the deliberate sculptor of your inner world. Each day, feed the mind with rich, uplifting ideas. See yourself surrounded by beauty, clothed in abundance, dwelling in ease and freedom. Refuse to rehearse limitation or replay the scenes of defeat. Your mind is the stage upon which tomorrow's reality is rehearsed. Keep it filled with the performances you wish to live. This law also demands discipline. A single burst of positive thought will not undo years of habitual lack consciousness. Just as the sun steadily ripens fruit, so must you persistently shine the light of abundant thinking upon your inner garden. Watch the words you speak to yourself. Monitor the feelings you entertain. Every emotion is a seed, and every seed is destined to bring forth after its kind. When doubt or fear attempts to invade, replace it immediately with the vision of your desired good. Hold that vision until it becomes more real to you than your present circumstances. Let it grow so vivid that the outer world begins to bow to it. The law must then take that inner image and bring it forth into form, for it cannot do otherwise. The picture is the cause. The manifestation is the effect. If you keep the cause pure, the effect must match it in every detail. The law of command declares that your words are decrees that set unseen forces into motion. Every sentence you speak is a seed cast into the soil of the universe, and the soil accepts it without question. Whether your command is for abundance or lack, joy or sorrow, health or sickness, the law hears and obeys. Words are not idle sounds. They are creative instruments charged with power. They carry the blueprint of the thought behind them and summon to you the exact nature of what you declare. From the beginning of time, creation has moved by command. Light was called into being by the spoken word. Seas and skies were divided by a decree. In the same manner, your life is shaped by the commands you speak daily. Many do not realize they are issuing orders against themselves when they say, "I can't afford it," "I never have enough," or "things always go wrong for me." The universe is impartial. It simply fulfills the command without judging its wisdom. Every time you speak limitation, you sign an order for more limitation to be delivered. To use the law of command rightly, you must speak as one who holds authority. You are not begging the universe for scraps. You are issuing a lawful directive as a child of divine supply. Speak in the present tense, as if the good you desire is already yours. Say, "I have unlimited supply. I walk in abundance. Money flows freely to me." When spoken with conviction and faith, these words are not mere wishes, they are the very substance of creation in motion. Your tone and certainty matter. A command whispered with doubt will scatter like dust in the wind, but a command spoken with unwavering faith will pierce through every appearance of delay. The law of command works hand in hand with belief. The power behind the words is the belief that fuels them. Without belief, words are empty shells. With belief, they become living forces that rearrange circumstances, shift conditions, and summon opportunities that seemed impossible. Silence can also be a form of command. When faced with fear or negativity, refusing to give voice to it is a decree in itself. By withholding words of defeat, you prevent those seeds from being planted. The disciplined tongue becomes the guardian of your destiny. Speak only that which you desire to see manifest. Let your words be few but rich with creative authority. Repetition strengthens the command. Just as a soldier drills until his response is automatic, you must train your tongue to speak abundance until it becomes your natural language. Every time you speak your decree, you reinforce its pattern in the unseen. The law continues to shape and mold reality around that repeated command, building it layer upon layer until it appears in tangible form. Be mindful that commands are not limited to what you say about yourself. They also include what you speak into the lives of others. Words of blessing spoken over friends, family, and even strangers send ripples of good that often return multiplied to the sender. Likewise, words of criticism or harm set into motion forces you may not wish to meet again. To master the law of command, see yourself as a king or queen seated upon the throne of your own life. The scepter in your hand is your word. Whatever you decree from that seat will go forth and perform exactly as spoken. Speak health, and health will come. Speak wealth, and wealth will answer. Speak peace, and peace will find you. The law of divine circulation declares that all supply is in constant motion, flowing from the unseen into the seen and back again in a perfect, endless rhythm. Money, opportunities, and resources are never stagnant. They are part of a living current that moves through channels both known and unknown. To receive from this current, one must be willing to give into it, for hoarding in fear dams the flow and creates the very lack one is trying to avoid. The law works much like the circulation of blood in the body. When it is moving freely, there is life and vitality. When blocked, there is weakness and decay. The nature of divine supply is abundance without limit. The source of all provision is infinite, and it seeks expression through you as both receiver and giver. When you release what you have with trust, you affirm your connection to that source and signal that you are ready for more to flow in. Every act of giving, whether it is money, service, encouragement, or kindness, sends a ripple into the current, and the law ensures that the ripple returns multiplied in perfect timing and form. Fear interrupts the circulation. When one clings tightly to what they have, believing there may not be enough, the flow becomes constricted. This is not because the source has run dry, but because the channel has been blocked by the consciousness of scarcity. The remedy is to give deliberately and joyfully, even when appearances suggest you cannot afford to. This act of faith proves to the law that you trust its unbroken rhythm, and the flow will always respond by increasing your supply. The law also governs the way in which money and resources come to you. It may arrive through your work, through unexpected gifts, through new opportunities, or through avenues you could not have imagined. Yet, regardless of the outer form, the true source remains the same, and it is unfailing. When you recognize this, you stop looking to people or jobs as your supply and start seeing them as channels through which the divine circulation flows. This shift in understanding frees you from dependence on any single avenue and keeps you open to receive from many. Circulation is not limited to money alone. It includes ideas, talents, and blessings of every kind. If you withhold your gifts from the world, your creativity, your skills, your encouragement, you interrupt the law in your own life. Giving your best freely and without resentment keeps the current strong, ensuring that inspiration and opportunity return to you in abundance. You become a vital part of the universal exchange, and the law delights in rewarding such faithfulness. Gratitude accelerates the circulation. Each time you receive, no matter how small, give thanks as if it were the greatest gift you have ever known. Gratitude magnifies the good and strengthens your connection to the source. When you give, do so with joy, knowing that your offering is not a loss, but a seed planted in rich soil that must bear fruit. The law is mathematical in its precision. What you release will always return, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. The law of divine circulation is not swayed by outer conditions. Even in times of economic downturn, the current is still moving, seeking open channels through which to pour itself. If you remain in faith, keep your hand open, and give as you are guided, you place yourself in perfect alignment with its flow. You become like a river that is constantly refreshed because it is constantly releasing, and the more it pours out, the more it is filled. Non-resistance is not weakness or passivity. It is a spiritual mastery that refuses to waste power on opposition. It is the quiet strength of knowing that the truth needs no struggle to defend itself. When you cease resisting, you open the door for the divine to act in ways far greater than your own efforts. The problem loses its grip because you have withdrawn the energy that was sustaining it. Like a fire deprived of fuel, it must diminish and fade. This law applies to money, opportunity, and every form of supply. If you resent another's wealth, you are resisting abundance in your own life. If you condemn the way money comes to you, you are blocking the channels through which it might flow. Non-resistance toward wealth means blessing the prosperity you see in others, being at peace with the way your own supply arrives, and trusting that the source is infinite. When bills arrive, do not meet them with irritation or fear, for that resistance ties you to a sense of debt. Instead, see them as proof that you have been trusted with resources and release payment with gratitude for what you have received. This attitude keeps the flow clear and unobstructed. When opportunities appear that seem too small or imperfect, do not resist them. They may be the stepping stones to greater doors opening. Non-resistance also means yielding to divine timing. Many people resist by trying to force events before the appointed season. The law teaches that when you release the need to control every detail, you align yourself with the natural order in which all things unfold perfectly. The seed does not resist the soil, nor does the river resist its banks. It simply moves with the course prepared for it, and in that movement, it fulfills its purpose without strain. Relationships are another place where this law works with precision. If you meet criticism with criticism or anger with anger, you enter into the vibration of the conflict and keep it alive. But if you respond with calm and refuse to feed the discord, the energy of the quarrel finds no place to rest and dissolves. The same principle applies to inner resistance. Holding on to guilt, regret, or fear creates an internal battle that drains your power. Letting go is the path to freedom. To practice non-resistance, you must cultivate the habit of blessing whatever appears in your path, even if it seems contrary to your desire. See every event as part of the unseen plan moving you toward good. When faced with obstacles, affirm that they have no power over you, accept what you give them, and choose instead to turn your attention to the vision you wish to see. In this way, you withdraw life from what you do not want and give life to what you do. The law of non-resistance moves like the wind. It flows easily where there is no obstruction, carrying with it the resources, people, and circumstances that lead to your highest good. When you cease to struggle, the current can carry you swiftly toward the very abundance you once tried to chase. By releasing opposition, you make space for greater blessings to enter, and in their presence, all that you once resisted loses its importance. The law of gratitude multiplication reveals that whatever you are truly grateful for increases in your life. Gratitude is not just a polite gesture or a pleasant feeling, it is a magnetic force that draws more of the same good into your experience. When you give thanks for what you have, you are affirming its value, and the universe responds by multiplying it. Gratitude is the recognition that your supply comes from an infinite source, and that source delights in sending you more when you acknowledge it with a full and sincere heart. Many people wait for greater blessings before they choose to be thankful, yet the law works in the opposite order. Gratitude must come first. If you can give thanks for the small, the imperfect, and the incomplete, you open the door for the larger, the perfect, and the complete to enter. When you complain about what is lacking, you place your focus on the shortage, and the law multiplies that as well. Every thought and word is a seed, and gratitude plants seeds of abundance that must bear fruit in their own kind. Gratitude also changes the vibration of your mind and emotions. A thankful heart is a lifted heart, and a lifted heart becomes a magnet for more good. When you feel gratitude deeply, your energy aligns with abundance, and the law matches that energy with experiences that reflect it. It is impossible to dwell in gratitude and lack at the same time. One cancels the other, and the choice is always yours. To work with the law of gratitude multiplication, you must give thanks not only for what has already appeared, but also for what is on its way. This is gratitude in faith, which holds even greater power. When you thank the source in advance, you are declaring that the thing you desire already exists in the unseen and must soon appear. The law responds by hastening its arrival, for faith and gratitude together are irresistible forces. Gratitude must be sincere. Empty words spoken without feeling carry no creative power. It is not enough to repeat "thank you" mechanically. You must feel the warmth of appreciation in your soul until it radiates outward. You can cultivate this feeling by pausing to notice the beauty, the provision, and the blessings already present in your life. Even a glass of clean water, a safe place to sleep, or a friend's kind word can be a reason for deep thanks when seen with awakened eyes. The law operates in every area of life. If you want more money, give thanks for the money you have, no matter how small. Bless each coin and note as it passes through your hands, and see it as part of an ever-flowing river of supply. If you want more love, give thanks for the love you already experience, in whatever form it comes. If you want more opportunities, express gratitude for the opportunities you have already been given, even if they are only stepping stones to something greater. Gratitude also dissolves fear and worry. It is impossible to be anxious about the future when you are fully aware of the good that surrounds you now. The mind that is fixed on gratitude sees possibilities where others see obstacles and receives solutions where others find none. This is why gratitude multiplies not only material supply, but also peace, joy, and clarity. When you live in gratitude, you become a powerful co-creator with the divine. Every thankful thought sends out a vibration of invitation to more blessings. The more you give thanks, the more the universe finds ways to give you reasons to do so. In this way, gratitude becomes a continual cycle of receiving and rejoicing, drawing abundance to you in ever-expanding measure. The law of definite demand declares that you must state clearly and specifically what you desire in order for the universe to bring it forth. Vague wishes produce vague results, but precise, definite demands set the creative forces into exact motion. The law is orderly and exact, responding to the clarity of your vision and the firmness of your word. Just as a builder requires a detailed blueprint before construction can begin, the law requires a clear mental and spoken blueprint to shape your reality. Many people fail to receive because they do not truly decide what they want. They speak in uncertain terms, saying, "I want more money," or "I want to be better off," without defining the exact amount or condition they seek. The universe hears the request but cannot deliver a clear outcome when the order is incomplete. The law of definite demand is not about greed or limitation. It is about precision. The more detailed your desire, the more swiftly and accurately the supply can be arranged. When making a definite demand, you must see and feel yourself already in possession of the desired good. Words alone are not enough. They must be infused with conviction and expectancy. The inner image must be vivid and unwavering, for doubt blurs the blueprint and delays the manifestation. The clearer and more consistent your mental picture, the easier it is for the unseen forces to bring it into form. A definite demand is not a plea, it is a lawful claim. You are not asking for something uncertain, you are claiming what is already yours by divine right. This requires confidence, not hesitation. Say, "I now receive 10,000 in perfect ways for my immediate use," rather than, "I hope for some extra money soon." One is a command backed by faith, the other a weak wish that the law cannot act upon with precision. The law also requires that your demand be made without attachment to the channel. Do not limit how it will come or from whom it will arrive. State the end clearly and let the universe choose the means. When you try to dictate the channel, you narrow the possibilities and may block the very path through which your good was ready to flow. The law of definite demand works best when you focus on the result and trust the process. This law can be applied to all areas of life: health, relationships, opportunities, and personal growth. If you desire improved health, state exactly the condition you wish to experience and picture yourself living in it. If you desire a certain type of work, define it in detail, the environment, the pay, the purpose, and hold that image steadily. If you desire a specific object, see it, feel it, and speak of it as already yours. Faith is the foundation of this law. A definite demand made with doubt is like sending an order to a store and then canceling it before it can be filled. You must send your order once and then continue to act, speak, and think as though it is already on its way. This steadfastness signals to the law that you are ready to receive, and the arrangements begin immediately. The law of definite demand honors commitment. When you decide firmly, every resource, person, and circumstance needed to fulfill your desire begins to move toward you. The clearer your request, the swifter and more exact the response. Just as a ship's captain charts a precise course before setting sail, so must you chart your demand with certainty, steering your thoughts and words toward its fulfillment until it appears in the visible world. The law of forgiveness teaches that release is the key to freedom, and freedom is the key to abundance. As long as resentment, bitterness, or grievance is held in the heart, the flow of good is obstructed. Forgiveness is not merely a moral choice, it is a spiritual necessity that clears the channels through which supply must pass. The law works with precision. When you forgive, you untie yourself from the vibration of the offense, and when you refuse to forgive, you remain bound to it, drawing to yourself the same patterns of loss and limitation. Unforgiveness is a form of debt. It is an invisible chain that links you to the person or situation you resent. As long as the chain remains, your energy is entangled, and the law cannot deliver your good without interference. Forgiveness cuts that chain. It is the conscious decision to release the past, no matter how justified you may feel in holding on. In doing so, you declare that no one and nothing has the power to withhold your supply. Forgiveness must be complete. It is not enough to speak the words while secretly nursing the hurt. The release must be genuine from the depths of the heart, for the law responds to vibration, not to empty gestures. True forgiveness is an inner cleansing. It erases the emotional imprint of the wrong and restores your spirit to a state of openness where blessings can freely enter. This law applies equally to forgiving yourself. Many block their own prosperity by carrying guilt, shame, or regret over past mistakes. The energy of self-condemnation is as destructive as resentment toward others. When you forgive yourself, you lift the weight that has been pressing against your good. You affirm that the past is powerless to harm you now, and you allow yourself to step fully into the present moment where all creation takes place. Forgiveness does not mean approval of wrongdoing. It does not require that you condone harmful actions or place yourself back into situations that diminish you. It is the choice to let go of the energy of the offense so that it no longer holds authority over your life. In this way, forgiveness is an act of strength, not weakness. It is the reclaiming of your own spiritual dominion. The law of forgiveness also governs money and material affairs. If you have been wronged in a financial matter, if someone has failed to pay you, cheated you, or caused loss, refusal to forgive keeps you aligned with loss consciousness. When you forgive, you release the channel through which the loss occurred and open the way for your supply to come from new and greater sources. Holding on to the grievance binds your prosperity to the past. Releasing it restores the divine circulation in your life. Forgiveness has the power to dissolve invisible walls between you and your good. It softens the hardened places of the heart where bitterness has taken root. It clears the mental atmosphere so that creative ideas can reach you. It restores peace, which is the fertile soil in which abundance grows. Without forgiveness, even the best affirmations and intentions are weakened, for they are being spoken through a field of resistance. To practice the law of forgiveness, begin by naming the person, situation, or self-judgment you have carried. Acknowledge the pain honestly, then declare your release. Speak words of blessing over them and over yourself, even if the feeling is not yet present. Repeat this daily until the feeling of peace replaces the old wound. As you do, you will feel the weight lift, the energy flow return, and the doors to your abundance swing wide open once again. The law of immediate expectation declares that the good you seek is ready to appear the moment you expect it with your whole heart. Expectation is the magnetic pull that draws the unseen into the seen. It is not a vague hope for some distant day. It is the confident knowing that the thing desired is already on its way and may arrive at any instant. The universe responds to your state of readiness, and when your readiness is complete, the manifestation becomes inevitable. Many delay their good because they place it in the future. They say, "Someday I will be prosperous," or "One day things will work out," and the law obediently holds their good in the realm of someday. The moment you shift to immediate expectation, you collapse that distance and call your blessing into the present. The law works in the now, and faith must live there as well. Immediate expectation requires the removal of all inner postponement. If you believe you must wait for the economy to improve, for someone to change, or for a perfect set of circumstances to appear, you have set a condition upon your own supply. The law does not need perfect outer conditions. It needs a perfect inner conviction. When the conviction is absolute, the way is made clear instantly, often through means you could never have arranged yourself. This law is strengthened by acting as if the thing you desire were already here. If you expect to receive, you prepare for it. You make room for it in your life. You speak of it as present. You arrange your affairs in harmony with it. This preparation signals to the law that you are ready, and readiness draws fulfillment without delay. Just as you would set the table before the guests arrive, you must prepare the space for the arrival of your good. Immediate expectation also transforms your emotional atmosphere. Waiting with uncertainty creates tension and doubt, but waiting in joyful expectation fills your mind with images of success and completion. These images are the blueprint from which the law works. The more vivid and consistent they are, the faster they draw their own fulfillment. A heart that expects joy now cannot be long denied, for the law must match the vibration it is given. You must guard against double-mindedness, for it weakens the power of this law. To expect today and doubt tomorrow is to pull the seed out of the ground before it can sprout. Immediate expectation is a steady, unwavering knowing. It is not concerned with how or when, because it understands that the unseen realm contains infinite ways and perfect timing. It rests in certainty even when appearances show no sign of change. This law applies to all forms of good: money, opportunity, healing, relationships, ideas. Whatever you are ready to expect immediately, you are ready to receive immediately. Delayed expectation is often a mask for disbelief, while immediate expectation is a sign of true faith. The moment you truly expect your good now, you align yourself with the current that delivers it now. To live by the law of immediate expectation, begin each day declaring that the thing you desire can arrive at any moment. Hold yourself in a state of alert readiness, as though you are listening for the knock at the door. See yourself already in possession of it, feel the joy of it, and move through your day in harmony with it. The law will match your readiness with opportunity, and your expectation will draw it into view with a speed that defies logic. The law of sowing and reaping is the unchanging principle that whatever you plant in thought, word, or action will return to you multiplied. Every idea you hold, every word you speak, every deed you perform is a seed, and each seed carries within it the pattern of the harvest it will produce. The soil of the universe is perfect and impartial. It will grow whatever you plant. If you sow seeds of abundance, generosity, and faith, you will reap a harvest of the same. If you sow seeds of fear, criticism, and lack, the harvest will match them in kind. This law operates in all areas of life, not only in money or material goods. Words of encouragement sown into others return as encouragement when you need it most. Acts of kindness sown without expectation return as blessings when least expected. Negative thoughts and destructive words also return, for the law makes no distinction in moral value. It simply reproduces what it is given. The power to determine your harvest lies in the choice of the seeds you sow. To work with this law consciously, you must plant with intention. Random sowing brings random results, but deliberate sowing brings deliberate harvests. Decide what you wish to receive and then plant seeds that match that desire. If you want financial increase, sow into the lives of others through giving, support, and opportunities. If you want peace, sow calm words, patience, and understanding into your relationships. The law cannot bring you a harvest of apples if you have sown thorns. Faith is the water that nourishes the seed. When you plant in doubt, you choke the growth before it begins. When you plant in faith, you trust that the seed is already working beneath the surface, even when you cannot see it. Just as a farmer does not dig up the seed each day to check its progress, you must allow your seeds to grow in the unseen until the time of harvest arrives. The law also requires patience. There is always a season between sowing and reaping, and each type of seed has its appointed time to bear fruit. Impatience is a form of disbelief that can lead to careless words or actions which uproot the good you have planted. Continue sowing good even when you see no immediate return, for each act is building toward a future harvest. This principle also warns against sowing in bitterness or resentment. Giving with a reluctant heart plants a seed of reluctance that will return in the same measure. True sowing is done in joy and trust, with the understanding that the supply is infinite and that what you give cannot diminish you. The law ensures that your harvest will be in proportion to both the quality and the spirit in which the seed was planted. It is also wise to remember that the harvest is always greater than the seed. A single thought, word, or act can multiply into many returns, far exceeding what was sown. This multiplication works for both good and ill, which is why it is vital to guard your thoughts, your speech, and your actions. Small seeds of kindness, gratitude, and generosity can produce a harvest beyond imagining, just as careless seeds of complaint or criticism can multiply into conditions you do not desire. The law of sowing and reaping is a law of personal responsibility and empowerment. It assures you that you are never a victim of chance, for the nature of your harvest is determined by the nature of your sowing. The field of life is always ready to produce, and the harvest you gather is the direct result of the seeds you have chosen to plant, water, and nurture with the substance of your faith. Divine order begins in the unseen. Just as a building must be drawn on paper before a single brick is laid, the pattern of your life is first established in the invisible realm. What appears to be a pause or a setback is often the time required for unseen arrangements to be completed. The right people must be in position, the right opportunities must be aligned, and the right inner preparation must be made before the outer manifestation can appear. This law assures you that there is no such thing as missed good when you are in harmony with it. Even if something you desired seems to have passed you by, the law is at work to bring forth something equal or greater in its place. Divine order never loses your good, nor does it withhold it out of reach. It arranges it so that when it arrives, you are fully ready to receive and use it. When you fight against divine timing, you step out of harmony with the flow and create unnecessary struggle. Impatience, frustration, and doubt are signs that you are attempting to move outside of order. The oak tree does not rush its growth, and the river does not resist its winding path. They both fulfill their purpose in the sequence established for them. Likewise, your desires have a perfect moment of appearance, and that moment cannot be hurried or delayed beyond its appointed season. Divine order is also a law of placement. It ensures that you are in the right place at the right time to meet the right people and receive the right opportunities. Sometimes this means being moved from one environment to another, closing doors that no longer serve you, or guiding you into situations that prepare you for greater things. These movements may feel disruptive at first, but they are part of a precise arrangement that is bringing you into alignment with your highest good. Trusting in this law brings peace. When you know that every detail is accounted for in the divine plan, you stop worrying about what is ahead and focus instead on being present and ready. This readiness is not passive. It is an active faith that prepares for the arrival of good even before it is seen. You set your affairs in order, tend to what is in your care, and keep your mind and speech aligned with the outcome you desire, knowing that the law will deliver it in perfect sequence. Divine order also governs correction. If something in your life is out of alignment, the law will arrange the events necessary to bring it back into balance. This can take the form of sudden changes, unexpected endings, or redirections that seem inconvenient at first, but ultimately lead to greater harmony. The law is self-adjusting and will continually guide you toward the path that fulfills your purpose and maximizes your good. To work with the law of divine order, affirm that all things in your life are unfolding in the right way and at the right time. Release the need to control the details or demand that things happen by your schedule. Instead, keep your vision clear, your faith steady, and your heart open to the ways the law may choose to arrange your blessing. In this trust, you find freedom from anxiety and certainty that your life is moving exactly as it should. The law of inner image teaches that the picture you hold of yourself in the secret place of your mind becomes the mold into which all outer conditions are poured. Life can only give back to you what you believe yourself to be, not what you wish to be in passing moments, but what you see and feel as the truth of your being. The inner image is the silent architect of your experience, shaping circumstances, relationships, opportunities, and even the level of prosperity you enjoy. Every detail of your life is a reflection of this inner portrait. If you carry an image of struggle, you will find yourself meeting struggle at every turn. If you see yourself as successful and provided for, the law will faithfully reproduce that vision in your affairs. This is not imagination in the sense of idle fantasy. It is imagination charged with belief, an inner seeing so strong that the outer world cannot help but conform to it. The law responds to the dominant picture, not to occasional flashes of hope. If you hold a vision of abundance for a few moments but spend the rest of your time dwelling on lack, the dominant image will prevail. Your mind is a projector, and the outer world is the screen. Whatever film you run, most often will be the reality you see. This is why guarding the inner image is one of the most important spiritual disciplines you can practice. Changing the inner image requires more than simply erasing the old picture. You must replace it with a new one that is vivid, detailed, and emotionally charged. See yourself living in the home you desire, working in the environment you long for, enjoying the financial freedom you seek. Feel the satisfaction of it as though it were already here. The subconscious mind accepts images more readily when they are clothed in strong feeling, and the law works swiftly when belief and emotion unite. The inner image also determines how you are treated by others. If you see yourself as worthy, respected, and valuable, people will reflect that image back to you. If you see yourself as overlooked or unworthy, the world will mirror that as well. You cannot hide the truth of your self-image. It is communicated through your words, your posture, your choices, and even the energy you carry. This law applies to every area of life, including money. If you hold the image of yourself as someone who always struggles financially, the law will faithfully maintain that pattern, no matter how much money passes through your hands. To change your financial condition, you must first change the picture of yourself in relation to money. See yourself as a person who handles wealth wisely, who attracts opportunities naturally, who is always in the flow of divine supply. The law of inner image is impartial. It will bring forth the picture you hold whether it serves you or harms you. This is why you must be vigilant in noticing the images you entertain, especially in moments of discouragement or fear. A careless inner picture can take root and become the foundation for unwanted experiences. By consciously choosing and maintaining a positive, empowered image, you ensure that the law is building in your favor. To work with this law, make the inner image your constant companion. Visit it daily, strengthen it with words of affirmation, protect it from the intrusion of doubt, and refuse to accept any outer condition that contradicts it. In time, the outer world will rise to match the picture you have held faithfully within, for the law has no choice but to manifest what is impressed upon the mind with belief and persistence. The law of giving without fear teaches that true giving is an act of faith in the infinite nature of supply. When you give freely, without the shadow of anxiety or the thought of loss, you declare that your source is unfailing and cannot be diminished. Fearful giving is not giving at all. It is an attempt to hold on while letting go, a divided act that sends a mixed signal to the universe. The law responds to the spirit in which the gift is given, and only fearless giving opens the floodgates for greater return. Every act of giving plants a seed in the field of the unseen. When the seed is sown with joy and trust, the harvest is rich and multiplied. When it is sown with fear, reluctance, or resentment, it grows weakly or not at all. The universe measures not the size of the gift, but the freedom of the heart that gives it. Fear binds the channel of circulation, while faith keeps it wide open. Giving without fear is not reckless or careless. It is guided by the quiet assurance that what you release returns to you in perfect form and in greater measure. It is the understanding that you cannot outgive the source of your supply. Just as the ocean never fears it will run dry, the one who gives in faith knows that their personal reservoir is fed by an endless stream. The more they release, the more the stream flows to fill it again. Fearful giving often comes from a belief in limited supply, the thought that if you give, you will have less. But the law of giving proves the opposite to be true. Withholding in fear leads to stagnation, while releasing in trust leads to increase. When you give, you set spiritual law into motion, signaling that you are a channel through which abundance can flow freely. The universe delights in using open channels and will always send more to those who do not block the flow. This law applies to all forms of giving: money, time, kindness, encouragement, resources, ideas. Whatever you give without fear carries a vibration of abundance, and that vibration draws more of the same to you. A kind word spoken freely can open doors you never expected. A financial gift given with joy can return multiplied through channels you could not have predicted. The law is creative and unlimited in the ways it can return your good. Giving without fear also transforms your relationship with receiving. When you give in trust, you become more receptive, knowing that the same law that moved through you in giving will move toward you in receiving. You begin to expect good without guilt or hesitation, recognizing that giving and receiving are two halves of the same circulation. Fear breaks that circulation. Faith keeps it alive and vibrant. It is important to note that giving without fear does not mean giving beyond your inner sense of peace. True giving is led by inspiration, not obligation. The moment you feel the tightening of fear or the weight of resentment, pause and realign with the truth of infinite supply. Give when your heart is open, and the law will multiply that gift beyond measure. To practice the law of giving without fear, bless what you give as it leaves your hand. See it returning to you multiplied and in perfect timing. Release it joyfully, knowing that you are not losing, but planting. In this way, you step into the rhythm of divine circulation, where giving is never a subtraction, but always the beginning of a greater increase. The law of faith. Overfacts teaches that the conditions you see with your physical eyes are not the final authority. Facts describe the current state of affairs, but faith determines what will come next. Facts are temporary. Faith is eternal. To live by this law is to refuse to let appearances dictate your expectations, knowing that unseen spiritual law can overturn, transform, or multiply anything in the visible realm. Facts may tell you that your bank account is low, that opportunities are scarce, or that a situation is impossible. Faith declares that supply is unlimited, that doors are opening, and that nothing is beyond the reach of divine order. When you choose faith over facts, you align yourself with the higher law that shapes circumstances rather than being shaped by them. This is not denial of reality, but mastery over it. It is the recognition that the visible world is only the effect, and faith works at the level of cause. Facts change constantly. A bank balance can shift overnight. A diagnosis can be reversed. A closed door can swing open without warning. Faith does not depend on what is seen. It rests in the unchanging truth that you are connected to infinite supply and infinite possibility. When you hold to faith in the face of facts, you become the channel through which those facts are rewritten. This law requires discipline of thought and speech. If you continually repeat the facts of limitation, you give them energy and authority over your life. When you speak from faith, you give energy to the outcome you desire instead. Saying, "I am wealthy in divine supply," when your finances say otherwise is not pretending, it is calling into form the higher truth that the facts have not yet revealed. Faith over facts is not passive wishing, it is active visioning. You must see beyond the evidence, holding a clear mental picture of the result you desire until it becomes more real to you than what is in front of you. The mind that clings to facts alone is confined by them, but the mind that holds to faith is free to create new conditions. This law applies to every area of life, including money. If you hold the image of yourself as someone who always struggles financially, the law will faithfully maintain that pattern, no matter how much money passes through your hands. To change your financial condition, you must first change the picture of yourself in relation to money. See yourself as a person who handles wealth wisely, who attracts opportunities naturally, who is always in the flow of divine supply. There is often a testing period when the facts appear to contradict your faith. This is the moment the law measures your steadiness. If you abandon your vision in favor of what you see, you reinforce the very condition you hope to change. If you hold your faith unwaveringly, the unseen begins to work, and soon the facts must rearrange themselves to match your inner conviction. The law of faith over facts applies to every area: money, health, relationships, opportunity. In finances, it means believing in abundant supply even when the evidence shows lack. In health, it means affirming vitality even when the body feels weak. In relationships, it means trusting in harmony and love even when conflict appears. Faith is the seed. Facts are simply the soil in which the seed will grow, and the soil cannot resist the life contained in the seed. To live by this law, you must continually ask yourself whether you are making decisions based on present facts or on the truth you hold in faith. Choose the higher vision every time. Refuse to let temporary appearances dictate your speech or your expectation. In doing so, you become the master of conditions rather than their servant, and the facts will eventually rise to meet the level of your faith. The law of no vacuums teaches that the universe abhors emptiness and will always move to fill it. In the realm of spirit, there is no such thing as a void that remains unfilled. Whenever you release something, whether it is an object, a habit, a belief, or a relationship, you create a space that must, by law, be occupied by something new. This is why letting go is often the first step toward increase. You cannot receive more while your hands, mind, or heart are full of what no longer serves you. Many people cling to the old because they fear the emptiness that follows release. They keep possessions they do not use, remain in situations that drain them, or hold on to outdated beliefs, thinking they are protecting themselves. In reality, they are blocking the natural flow of supply. The law of no vacuums assures that when you clear space, you invite fresh blessings to take its place, often in forms greater than what was released. This principle operates in both the material and the spiritual. When you give away clothing you no longer wear, the empty space in your closet becomes an open channel for new garments to come. When you release a job that no longer aligns with your purpose, you create the mental and energetic space for work that is more fulfilling and prosperous. When you let go of resentment, you make room for love, peace, and new connections to flow in. Nature demonstrates this law constantly. When a patch of earth is left bare, something will grow there: grass, flowers, or weeds, depending on what is sown. The same is true in life. The vacuum you create will be filled, but the quality of what fills it depends on the intention you hold. If you release in fear, you may attract something similar to what you let go of. If you release in faith and expectation, the law will fill the space with something higher and better. This is why conscious release is powerful. When you decide to clear space, do so with a clear mental image of the good you expect to take its place. Speak words of blessing over what you are letting go, affirming that it is making way for something greater. In doing this, you direct the law toward your desired outcome rather than leaving it to chance. The law of no vacuums also works inwardly. Old thought patterns and limiting beliefs occupy mental space that could be filled with ideas of abundance, creativity, and joy. By clearing out mental clutter through forgiveness, affirmation, and conscious focus, you prepare your mind to receive divine inspiration. The more room you make, the more the universe can pour into you. It is important to trust the timing of the filling. There is often a short space between release and replacement, and during this time, fear may tempt you to grab at the first thing that appears. Resist this impulse, for it may be a lesser substitute. Hold your faith steady and wait for the right thing to occupy the space you have created. The law always fills the vacuum, but your expectation shapes what will enter. To work with this law, examine the areas of your life that feel stagnant or overcrowded. Ask yourself what needs to be released in order for something greater to enter. Begin clearing, physically, emotionally, mentally, knowing that every empty space you create is an invitation for the universe to respond. In this way, you live as a willing participant in the flow of divine order, trusting that nothing is ever lost and that every space you make will be filled with something better than before. The law of instant action teaches that when an inspired idea, opportunity, or inner prompting arrives, you must move on it immediately. Delay weakens the energy of inspiration, allowing doubt, fear, and second-guessing to creep in. The law works in perfect timing, and the moment of inspiration is the moment the way is clear. Acting at once aligns you with the current of opportunity, while hesitation allows that current to pass you by. Instant action is not reckless impulse. It is the decisive movement that follows a clear inner signal. There is a difference between acting out of fear or pressure and acting from the certainty that an idea has been divinely delivered. When inspiration comes, it carries with it a spark of energy that opens doors, draws resources, and brings people into place. Waiting too long lets that energy dissipate, and what could have been a swift and easy path becomes harder to accomplish later. This law applies strongly to the realm of supply and prosperity. Many people receive ideas that could increase their wealth, open new channels of income, or create opportunities, but they delay until conditions feel perfect. In truth, conditions are rarely perfect in the outer sense. They are made perfect by action in the moment they appear. Moving immediately on a divine idea signals to the universe that you are ready to receive, and the universe responds by supporting and enlarging your effort. Instant action also demonstrates faith. To act without having every detail figured out is to declare that you trust the next step will appear as you move. Faith and action are partners. One without the other is incomplete. Faith alone keeps the vision alive, but action plants it in the soil of reality. Action without faith may lack direction, but faith with action becomes unstoppable. Opportunities often come disguised as small or insignificant steps. The law teaches that even a small action taken instantly can set in motion a chain of events that leads to major breakthroughs. A phone call, a message, a meeting, or the purchase of a single item can be the key that unlocks the larger vision. If you ignore these promptings or push them aside, the opening may close, and the energy that was once available may shift to another channel. The law of instant action also works in matters of inner change. When you receive the realization that a belief, habit, or pattern is limiting you, the time to release it is now. Waiting until a better moment often means never doing it at all. The energy of insight is strongest when it first arrives. Using it immediately allows the shift to take root quickly and with less resistance. This principle does not mean rushing into every idea or opportunity that comes your way. Discernment is essential. The signal for instant action is the feeling of clarity, excitement, or peace that accompanies a true divine prompting. When this signal is present, act without delay, even if the outer path is not yet visible in full. The law will unfold the way step by step as you move forward. To live by the law of instant action, train yourself to recognize the difference between inspired prompting and fleeting impulse. Keep your inner channel clear through daily quiet time so you can hear and trust the guidance when it comes. Then, when the moment arrives, move. Make the call, send the message, start the work, take the step. In doing so, you show the universe that you are a willing partner in creation, and it will match your swiftness with its own, bringing your good into form more quickly than you imagined. The spiritual laws that govern your money and abundance are not distant, hidden mysteries. They are living principles, always at work, shaping the flow of your life. Each law, whether it speaks of mental images, divine order, gratitude, forgiveness, faith, or action, is a doorway into greater freedom, supply, and peace. These principles do not operate by chance or partiality. They respond to the state of your mind, the quality of your words, and the readiness of your heart. To align with these laws is to step into harmony with the very rhythm of the universe. It is to know that your prosperity is not dictated by outer conditions, but by the inner alignment of thought, belief, and action. When you plant the right seeds, hold the right images, forgive without reserve, give without fear, and act when prompted, you become a co-creator with the infinite source of all good. The more faithfully you live in accordance with these laws, the more naturally abundance flows into your life. You no longer chase after supply. It comes to you, drawn by the vibration of faith, gratitude, and expectancy. What once seemed like chance becomes certainty. What once felt scarce becomes limitless. Your financial freedom, your opportunities, your joy, and your peace are not somewhere out there, waiting for luck to deliver them. They are within your reach now, waiting for you to work with the laws that govern them. Live them daily, speak them boldly, and expect their results without hesitation. In doing so, you open the way for a life that reflects the fullness, beauty, and unending supply of the divine.